afternoon guys, and firstly I hope you're all well. So welcome back to my channel. So today's video is basically going to be a sit down chat. Of course Wednesday is kind of my usual full day of eating upload, and then Sunday is my kind of like more sit down chat where I've started this kind of series where it's basically called like 5 things ... I touch on different subjects, maybe that be kind of like glute growth, glutes growth, kind of my top tips for staying on track, which I'm touching on today, things like obviously delt exercises to do, how to obviously intensify the workout program, so many different things I'm going to touch on. I've already done 3 things, they are here, like 3 videos. Please go and check those out if you have not already. But let's get into the video. Please remember to hit the like button, subscribe, turn on those notifications, and comment down below what you want to see. These things literally, it's like the small things, they really do help my channel, so thank you so much. But yeah, I'll stop chatting, let's get into the video. Okay, so today's video is going to be 5 tips to help you stay on track with your goals. So number 1, non-negotiables. Now for me, this is kind of like a new thing that I have set myself. Everyone's non-negotiables are going to be completely different. Obviously all of our goals are different, our lifestyles are different, our jobs are different. There's so many different things to kind of account here. But with these non-negotiables, these are things that you must hit daily, and you have to set yourself kind of time aside to basically do that. So for myself, my kind of 2 non-negotiables are, on my training days, I must do my cardio straight after my kind of workout, because what I was doing, I hate myself for it, I was basically on Sunday, when I wasn't cutting, on Sunday I would literally leave my hour of cardio until Sunday. And Sundays obviously it's like that day where you just want to sit there, not do much, and just sit on the sofa and just kind of chill and relax. But I would every Sunday sit on that bike and be like, why have I done it again to myself? So my non-negotiable number 1 is that I have to kind of do my cardio straight after my training session, whether that mean even if we're going out, I need to get up earlier, like I have to do it. And the other thing is steps. Now with my current step goal is 11k. We always make sure we wake up and we literally don't look at our phones, we just go straight for a dog walk. We literally do half an hour walk, we don't kind of go on our phones at all, we just go for a 30-minute walk, getting around 3 to 5k steps depending on how kind of long we go for. We then come back, and my other part is we will then go around 3ish. So the time currently is actually 3:30. We are due to go on that walk once I finish this. So our kind of afternoon walk depends on things like obviously where our workload is and kind of what parts of the day. So we always make sure we've got our 2 walks in there, however long they may be, but we must hit kind of 11k steps. I've got myself into a solid routine where, okay, yeah, I've got to tick that box and I've got to do that. So non-negotiables, obviously, I think they're very, very valuable, and I think they're very different depending on the person. Of course, not everyone can go and do 11k steps daily. Not everyone can kind of do the cardio straight after their training, but it is person dependent. You kind of use those non-negotiables to work around your goals. So let's say, for example, you've got let's say 3 times 20 minutes cardio, you train 3 days per week. How about kind of maybe doing splitting that cardio up, having it on kind of set days, maybe, if that works well for you. It's so many different things, but of course they have to be kind of personalized to yourself. Number 2 is structure and clarity. Now I think this is so key, like literally so key. You need to kind of have those goals. If you go into a fat loss phase and within 2 weeks you go, oh no, I don't want to do that, I want to kind of go grow, and then you're in this growth phase, you're like, no, I don't want to do that, you're not having that structure. You are jumping in and out of 2 different things. Now you don't have to cut or grow, you can literally maintain. Like, it's absolutely fine to maintain where you currently are at. If you enjoy, if you're happy with your body, if you enjoy what you're doing, it's okay to just sit there for a prolonged period of time. Like, that is fine. You don't have to be cutting or growing, but having that kind of structure and that plan is honestly so valuable, in the sense of you've got structure in your day, you know what you're doing every single day. So for myself, for example, I know I'm training 4 days per week. I know my Monday is my rest day, I know kind of my Thursday, so today is kind of my rest day. It's more like content day. Well, I'll film this kind of YouTube video, I'll film some TikToks, get some things ready for Instagram, do that kind of stuff, catch up on random admin like jobs as well. But I've got a structure of my plan. Like, I know what my training sessions are, I know about my cardio, I know about my steps, I know kind of my plan of action. And this, of course, with that kind of structure and clarity, if you have got yourself a coach, of course they are going to help with that structure and clarity. If you don't have a coach, you can still make progress. I think that's the biggest thing there. You can still make progress. Guide yourself through that. Make sure you're kind of keeping yourself accountable there. You've got yourself a structure throughout the week. I mean, it's kind of overlooked a lot of the time, but that's a very, very simple thing to kind of just implement in your day-to-day lifestyle, and honestly, you'll be flying as soon as you implement that. Number 3. Now this for me, really, when Harv and I were kind of sat down together writing these, kind of planning this YouTube video that I wanted to film, this for me is a real key thing, and I think it's self-talk. Observe your self-talk. So basically how you talk to yourself. It's one of those things, of course, we all have, we all think about our kind of progress, etc. if you are hard on yourself, take that step back and actually be kind to yourself. It sounds like the silliest thing to say, and it sounds like the most simplest thing to say, but if you are hard on yourself, actually take a step back and give yourself a pat on the back every once in a while. Like, it is okay to say, yeah, do you know what? I've done well there. I've made myself proud. Like, it is okay to say that. And it's, for example, like, I will look back to prep and I can go, wow, yeah, I don't know how I achieved it, but I did, and I'm proud of myself for doing that. And it's actually understanding, like, being kind to yourself. Now, for example, if you're going out, instead of kind of going, oh, I've ruined all my progress, actually think, right, okay, how can I kind of in future make kind of maybe better decisions? Maybe I can kind of be a bit more mindful with choices, instead of, let's say, having all cocktails, have something that's obviously low in calories, those kind of things, depending on obviously your goal. But it's one of those things that you need to kind of actually be kind to yourself. If you're telling yourself, I'm not changing, I'm not liking how I look, you look in the mirror and you pick out all the negatives, then yeah, you're gonna have this negative mindset. But if you actually look in the mirror and think, actually, do you know what, my butt is looking really good today, you're gonna feel happy with yourself. Like the other day I looked in the mirror when I was kind of training upper body, and I was like, do you know what, my actual shoulders, I think after years, I think they may be starting to grow. Let's not kind of look at them now. But I think it's that thing of actually being kind to yourself and kind of picking out, yeah, okay, I've still got room for improvements in X area, but actually here I'm really strong and I'm really kind of improving in that area. And I have got a couple of clients that are kind of harder to themselves, and every check-in I'm like, nope, you need to be kind to yourself, you are progressing. So in terms of how the self-talk kind of relates obviously to staying on track, if you are telling yourself you are not going to achieve X goal, then of course it's going to be a lot harder to kind of stay on track. You're talking yourself out of it. Don't kind of give yourself these excuses and talk yourself out of it. Actually give yourself kind of a pat on the back and go, right, yeah, I can achieve that goal. And that's why obviously having those realistic goals is so key. So when you are obviously working towards those goals, you can easily stay on track because they're realistic. So for myself, for example, of course I am wanting to lose like around 3-ish kilos, nothing set. I gave myself 12 weeks. I know 110% I can easily lose 3 kilos in 12 weeks. I've done it before. Like, I know myself that I can do that, but I kind of gave myself a prolonged period of time because firstly, I still want to be going out, I still want to be doing things, I'm not putting the pressure on myself. If one day I don't track, and if maybe I go over slightly, or if I kind of have a takeaway, it's not going to ruin progress. I've set myself a realistic goal that I know I can still stay on track. It's really key to actually, when you are kind of obviously focusing on staying on track and being consistent, don't kind of put yourself down, really kind of actually be kind to yourself and kind of lift yourself back up and go, right, you can do this. And that's why it's so kind of key to have those realistic goals. Okay, next one. So number 4, this is quite an interesting one. Now, I think it is okay to say no. So if you've got a goal and you're wanting to stay on track, like, you can say no. If you're going out and actually you go, do you know what, I actually don't fancy drinking, and your friend's like, no, come on, drink, you can say no. Like, it is okay to say no. Those that are around you, if they are fully supporting you, if they are good, like, true friends, etc., they will support you. And of course, in order to stay on track, we have to kind of realize that at some point we may have to say no to some things. If we are going out frequently, let's say 2 or 3 times a week, yes, that is going to slow down progress, and we have to be realistic with that goal. But it is okay to say no. If you actually don't want to kind of go out, you don't have to go out. You can stay on track and go out. You can 110% still go and have fun and stay on track. But of course, there may be things you have to kind of do slightly different. So if you're on a fat loss phase, instead, let's say you're going out for drinks, instead of having something like cocktails, of course, which are very high in calories, have something like white spirits. So maybe like vodka, Malibu gin. I'm not really a spirit drinker, to be fair. With things like obviously Diet Coke, Diet Lemonade, Slimline Tonic, etc. And of course, also things like Prosecco, champagne, etc. Because these things are lower in calories compared to the things like the cocktails, etc. So it's kind of finding that balance that works well for you. At the end of the day, it's different for everyone. For myself, yeah, I could go and have kind of a couple of cocktails at the weekend. I'd reduce my calories slightly during the week, probably by around 100. 150 maybe, depending on how many I'm planning on having. And of course, I have to be realistic that, yeah, my scale weight will probably increase, but it's okay. But it is also okay if I want to say no. If you're in a fat loss phase and you don't want to go out and eat, you don't have to eat. You could maybe give an alternative and go, how about you kind of come around and maybe I'll cook dinner, for example, or we can kind of do this. Maybe instead of going for Five Guys, how about we go for Nando's? Of course, you can kind of loosely track Nando's, whereas Five Guys, as we know, it's a lot higher in kind of calories, etc., compared to Nando's. But of course, it's about finding the balance that works well for you. you, and that is the key thing. You do not have to restrict. I'm not saying restrict, but it is about finding the balance that kind of works well for you. Okay, so number 5, this is literally so crucial in order to help you stay on track: monitoring your progress. So with kind of obviously monitoring progress and actually helping you stay on track, you can do things like taking your kind of weekly photos, weekly check-in photos, your weigh-ins. Of course, depending on how often you are weighing yourself, it's entirely up to the individual. If you aren't comfortable with weighing yourself, you don't have to. There are other forms of kind of other variables and tools you can kind of use to help track progress. Of course, you can see how your clothes are fitting. You can also, most importantly, actually see how you feel, and of course the measurements. There are so many things as well that you can kind of track. At the end of the day, it's very, very person dependent. For myself, I weigh myself, I'd say 5 to 6 days per week. Today's actually the first time I've seen a good drop, like a significant drop in my scale weight over the past 3 weeks. And it's just one of those things that I knew it was coming. Like, I could feel it was coming because I felt hungry. I had my cycle, then I had the COVID booster, and then I was kind of getting really, really hungry. And then also I could feel myself kind of getting leaner because my kind of waist has been like a little bit tighter in itself, it feels like. And yeah, so it's just, I knew it was coming. It was just waiting, and obviously still taking my progress photos. And we can see in my photos that I am gradually, very, very gradually going to see some changes, but it's going to take time. And having those kind of photos there really is a good tool to actually see that you are making progress and helping you stay on track with kind of staying on track as a whole. Only you can really do it, and that's the kind of, that is a real big key thing. I've kind of gone off topic here, but so for myself, I want this fat loss. No one else can do it. As much as I wish Harv could go and do the cardio for me and I lose the fat, it's just not going to happen. And if I say to myself, oh, I really can't bother today, I'm not going to do it, I will then just talk myself out of it. So I make sure I get up, I get going, and I just literally go, right, I want to achieve this goal, and if I want to get there, only I can do the work. So I think I've kind of rambled on enough. I hope that kind of relates back to how to stay on track. So to kind of give a summary, of course, I mentioned non-negotiables, so having things to help you make sure each day you are ticking those boxes. Number 2 is structure and clarity. Have a structured goal. If you've got that, you will then, boom, you're gonna fly. You are absolutely flying. Number 3, observe your self-talk. And of course, kind of with this, it's that thing of actually being kind to yourself. With that, obviously making sure that each week you're not, when you do your check-ins, you're not being hard on yourself. Actually kind of go, right, this week I've done this well, or okay, maybe I can improve on this. Give some wins for the week. Give yourself kind of some things that you need to work on. Those kind of things. It's like constructive feedback for yourself, and that kind of is the key to help you stay on that track. Number 4, it's okay to say no. Like, it really is. If you don't want to go out, you don't have to go out. Just remember that it's your goal, it's your life. And number 5, monitoring progress. And that is so key to helping stay on track, because you can actually see how you're making progress. So I hope that was kind of useful. Thank you guys so much for watching. Any kind of suggestions of what you want to see, please comment them down below. I could literally talk for hours. I know I could. And so many of you guys have mentioned like a podcast. Right now, I'm gonna stick with this. Like, I literally love doing my YouTube podcast. Never say never, hey. Harv and I would love to, definitely in the future, because we could both talk for hours, like literally hours. But fingers crossed in the future. But for now, we're sticking to the YouTubes. Please obviously hit the like button, subscribe, turn those notifications on, and I will catch you in next week's vlog, which will be a full day of eating on Wednesday. So see you guys then.